Hi Scorpios, and welcome to your September 2022 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your month ahead. I hope you're all doing really well. Let's dive into your reading. So I'm going to be doing some intuitive messages for you for the month ahead, as well as a week-to-week tarot forecast and an extended reading on Patreon, which will be linked below. Okay, Scorpios, big stuff coming in for you this month. I think that this is a pinnacle for you. I think that this is a month that's going to really exemplify your character and really have you expressing, firstly to yourself, but also to the world, kind of public feeling this month, expressing who you are, your style, your methods, your integrity, your person really kind of projects this month in September and likely will be for quite a ways forward. Just intuitively, before I'm even getting into the cards, I'm just feeling that Scorpio is really needing a soft and easy self-guarantee in order to walk through this month ahead with peace and ease. So it's important that you maintain the peace. It's important that you have a feeling of peace or that you have a feeling of ease and self-security. So that things aren't like nervous or erratic or frantic or regretful. I feel that your nobility is really tested in the month of September. Like, will you sink to other people's level? Do you need to make like proud displays of ego or proud displays of a perceived sense of superiority or inferiority? That's going to be an important thing to really be transcending and getting way out of in the month of September. The most important thing for Scorpio in September is seeing the trap or seeing the confinement that certain ego expressions or certain losses in self-moderation, like the long-term impact that has and the long-term effect of any kind of like, impulsivity. So I think that a lot of Scorpios have maybe like accountability in the month of September, and you're really having to see like who you've become and seeing like where your commitments have been, what is the bed that you've made. There is that type of thing coming up here, while at the same time a completely new horizon generating. So there is like a shedding of the skin, I think, coming up in your season. And this phase that you're going through here in September is like a pre-skin shedding, kind of like elderly feeling where we kind of like realize exactly how this entire situation or scenario manifested. We see that why, we see that momentum. And I think that it's so good to not be too judgmental about it here. I think that it's really rewarding to accept the full picture that you've painted, basically, and to not get too frantic or all over the place thinking, oh my gosh, I should have done this different. I should have managed my finances differently. I should have had different relationships. I should have gone to like a different university. I should have gone to like different events or something. Like, I feel that this is something that Scorpio has been struggling with for the last year and a half of like, why did I make that decision? I don't like the current momentum, and how can I nitpick the previous choices to explain to myself why that happened? And the beauty of September is that it kind of, I think, evolves you a little bit, and it explains to you a more objective truth about the full picture of your situation. So this also is reminiscent of the oncoming year. So a 2023 cycle is also going to be a lot like this for you. I think that you have a skin shedding that happens proverbially between now and then. So I don't want to talk about it too much yet because it's still not quite accessible. But there's going to be a lot of this kind of like standing peacefully and standing strongly in your own personal narrative and not, being upset at yourself or not being judgmental about certain choices, yet choosing the most regenerative horizon oncoming and not maybe committing to some of those things without also having to like nitpick it or without having to give yourself too hard of a time about having been in that phase. So I definitely think that you're on the precipice of coming out of a certain phase, out of a certain aesthetic or even like personal branding. That feels to be changing for you quite soon. And Also, I think that you are getting really is smart the word? I don't know. I was about to say you're getting really smart, but it's more like Scorpio is getting just very wise. And of course, it's not like all Scorpios, but I think that there's a great opportunity for wisdom in September. I love seeing the Empress and the Nine of Cups and the Three of Cups and the Six of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the King of Pentacles. You know, 6 out of 8 of your cards are very, very positive. All right. You have a super majority positive experience coming in for you. I think that material things are coming together. I think that you're getting the right ideas. I think that you're leveling up your logic and leveling, maybe getting more intelligent, learning new things this month with the Ace of Swords and the Empress together. That's a wonderful learning curve or a beautiful experience of gaining knowledge. Also, you are there is a feeling of like high horse at the same time. Like the Empress and the Nine of Cups together, it's very like regal. It's very kind of unquestionable or unbeholden to certain scrutinies or to certain things that other people have to like maybe you know, deal with or face. So you're not having to face something that a lot of people are having to face in the month of September, and that gives you this like aura of I don't know, it's kind of like a boss vibe aura or something like that. But that can also be a little bit arrogant. So the Empress and the Nine of Cups together can also mean smugness or arrogance or hierarchical imposition of superiority. So watch out for any type of superiority complex. Also, you could be dealing with a lot of people or be surrounded by a lot of people who are on major high horses or are very, proud of their posture or their place. So there's some kind of karma or some type of learning curve that you are facing in September that deals with humility as well. And I would really try to lean more into humility. I would try to let yourself experience, I don't know, this feeling of well-being and this feeling of wellness, just wellness in general, holistic wellness coming in for you in September. I would try to experience with veneration for times in your life when you haven't maybe been this place and not get too stuck in this stature, because I do feel like it's not that you're not meant to be here, or it's not that this will even end if you don't want it to, but I think that it's important to level with people and to not be too connected to feelings of superiority or inferiority. There can be a lot of problems that come up. And I think that there is maybe a little bit of a test for Scorpios right now. Like, will you display the same negative characteristics as people from your past who maybe mistreated you because of their superiority? So there's a big actual test coming through for Scorpio about that now, as you might even find yourself wielding like a similar power that someone who like mistreated you before wielded. So it's like putting that power into your hands and seeing, can you transcend that and can you be the good guy, basically? Battles of good and evil and things like that might be coming up here for Scorpios as the South Node is in your sign. And your sign is very activated right now with Pluto sextile, Mercury sextile, Neptune trines, oppositions from the Taurus energy. This is a very, very integral part of a Scorpio's life timeline, it feels like. And with that energy, you can also really, take things big, or you can really be glowing here as well. And not for the sake of other people, but you can just, I think, have a beautiful life experience during this time too. And see that many aspects of life are showing up for you in a way that they haven't. So that's very positive. Do keep an eye out, though. Again, 5 of Cups and the Moon reversed coming up. Keep an eye out for things kind of like drooping, or there being something that's just like not quite thriving enough. So even like a lingering autoimmune issue or a lingering stagnation of some sort, I think, with the 5 of Cups and the Moon reversed. Also, the Empress, the King of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, they're all still, and they're all a depiction of stillness. So I do feel that something might be stagnant for you, and that's only lingering. It's not like the main thing or the main story, but you want to, I think, get moving and kind of give yourself more turnover right now. Watch out for keeping things too still and too statuesque, actually. I mean, maybe being statuesque is good for you right now too, but again, the body needs motion. So think about what types of new motion you can add to your life in September too. Okay, let's talk about your week to week briefly here. So week number 1, Scorpios, you've got the Empress rooted down by the Ace of Swords. This is beautiful. That is, again, enjoying the experience of learning something new. That is prestige or renown within perhaps some type of learning field. So some of you might be going into a teaching field. Some of you might be going into academics or something, and you could see a really nice experience in fields like that in the first week. Also, this could just be understanding how to position yourself or understanding what position to take on certain matters too. The Empress is about positioning. It's about stature. It's about posture. So the Ace of Swords is about new progress and about new mindsets, new logic. So you could get a new idea about your identity or a new idea about your self-expression, new style, new wardrobe. The Empress is ruled by Venus. That archetype is connected to the planet Venus, which is like a Libra and Taurus energy. So you might revamp your wardrobe, or you might do something that increases your sense of beauty in your life, maybe putting new art into your household, or new beautiful things that you enjoy coming in the first week, and maybe like new philosophies or mindsets about art or beauty. Week number 2, you have the 3 of Wands rooted down by the 5 of Cups. Okay, so there's this like kind of feeling of being stuck, actually. And that could feel quite rough in the second week. I think some of you are in a threshold where you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out of certain experiences. So you're not completely in or out of something. It's like an in-between phase, and you know that might be concluding, or you know that you might have to choose, or that you might have to really dedicate yourself to one side or the other of some type of life quest or life question. And I think definitely try to work with the 3 of Wands energy, like what new horizons are there? What new areas that you haven't experienced can you experience with some of these new paths? And try to not get stuck on what just isn't working right now. I do feel that there are some things that just aren't working right in a lot of Scorpios' lives, like annoying small things, like glitches. Mercury retrograde is also happening during that week, and it will be lasting for most of the rest of the month of September. There's also a feeling of like not being very loud or very outspoken, I think, in the second week, and actually in the entire month of September. As you see, all of the people represented in this artwork are so heavily clothed. They've got like these cloaks on, and they're, especially in the 5 of Cups and the 3 of Wands, but actually all of the rest of the cards as well. There's a feeling of really covering things up, or a feeling of kind of not hiding. It's not like hiding, because there's actually a very open energy. But I feel that some of you maybe don't feel confident enough to really wear your heart on your sleeve, and it might be good to check in and ask why that is. And some of you already know the answer to that question, and that's wrapping up shortly. You already know how that ends. But why is it that there's not like a feeling of trust, or why is it that the current series of events in your life, or current commitments, don't feel safe for you, okay? Or don't feel like you can really be your most fun self? What caused that? What led you there? What constructs or commitments put you here in 2022 having to kind of like, keep a wall between yourself and people, or like a cloak, That's going to be a big question in the second week. As you might see that like too much is stagnating because of that. Like you can't really make new relationships, or you can't really connect with other people because there are too many boundaries, too many protective mechanisms. At the same time, we certainly don't want too little of those right now. So it's almost like better to have more protection than less, I think, for a lot of people right now. But it is good food for thought. Week number 3, you have the 9 of Cups. You're down by the 6 of Cups. Beautiful. 9 of Cups is a good luck card. Six of Cups is a nostalgic and sentimental card. So there's something of like really venerating your own journey or venerating the path that you've been on for such a long time now, especially for those of you who have like really long-term projects that have been going on and that you might be finishing here. There's a lot, I think, a lot of pride for a lot of people, or a lot of just stellar feelings of self-congratulation happening in the third week. So that's a beautiful period of time to have like a gift come through, or to get a gift for another person. It's a great time to be giving back, or even to receive something from somebody else. I think that some of you might get a wonderful gift or windfall in the third week of September. And a lot of you, and this is beautiful, Scorpios, right when you hit Libra season and enter into your collective 12th house, there is this deep psychic, and when I say psychic, I mean of the psyche. There's this deep psychic knowing, I think, that comes in the third week of September. That's like, I never have to worry about that again. Okay, there's a feeling of worries going away, or a feeling of something that was really freaking you out, or something that was really losing you sleep for a long time, just no longer being a part of your experience. So that looks like some type of transcendence, but it kind of also seems like it didn't have to take this long to actually feel this way, but nonetheless it is happening, and that's going to be a great benefit. Also, the third week is a great time for any type of things that require luck. Okay, so asking a hard question. If there's anything that you've been like needing support for, or if you've been needing to have a hard conversation, it might actually be very healing and very rewarding in the third week to do anything like that. Week number 4, the moon reversed, we're down by the King of Pentacles. Okay, yeah, you kind of start to see how tricky reality can be. I don't know, that's a weird explanation, but as you get a windfall, or as you transcend something, you realize that the comfort that you get from that could have always been yours, regardless of the change in situations. So King of Pentacles is about material reality, it's about what we can touch, it's about the very physical world, and the moon reversed is about false perception of reality. And when I say that, I mean in a way that, for example, you know, the feeling of money equating security, or basically just any like self-imposed limitations or self-imposed restrictions that have you not doing what you need to do because of some type of like material circumstance. I think that that also is transcended for you in the 4th week of September. And it's just so joyous, I think, for a lot of Scorpios to be in that place where they're like, actually, I am now coming into a time period, and this could even stretch into 2023 for some of you. I am now coming into a time period where I don't deprive myself, or I don't restrict or limit my potential, and I don't also commit or subordinate myself to people who are toxic or not worth my time. And there's this like very fine line, because for Scorpio, there's such a needed expansion of your self-belief, or of your self confidence, or also maybe who and who you don't allow to be in your life, or allow to yourself to accept. So like what you're accepting, what you're saying yes to, what you're saying no to. The 4th week of September looks like really penultimate power of no energy, like realizing just how no sometimes is even a more powerful word than yes, and how sometimes that which we choose not to participate in has a way bigger power over our material life than what we do. So I think that a lot of you are up for a pretty big update with like what your participation is, what types of social groups you might be connecting to, what types of business you might be doing. Anything that has connotation about like your material life, I think, is up for a big change in reality for Scorpios. And it takes the confidence that you're developing over September to really justify that and to really put that through. But this is a longer term thing for you. I don't think this is something that's just totally solved by September, but I think that it is a longer term threshold, and it's a new level of that threshold that you've probably been in for a while now. That's like, who am I? What am I doing? Who am I connecting with? Which became like a pretty big existential crisis for this sign for quite a few months for some of you, and then for some of you even more than like a year at this point. But I think that the way that the astrology is in the other planets, it's not like as big of a crisis as you think it is. It's a very kind of like small detail thing, but because of that, it's like powerful in its own way because it's like concentrated or it's small, which is like Scorpio energy, right? Like the small scorpion is powerful, potent, and life or death type of symbolism. So that's very scorpionic. You might be dealing with something very small or something very tiny, but it has like a huge, huge connotation. And then we're getting towards your season, right, where stuff like that is what your sign is about. So let's talk more about that in your extended reading, Scorpio. Let's talk about getting from here to Scorpio's season. Let's talk about how to parse through some of the details coming up and being able to like judge, does this need to be in my life? Does it not need to be in my life? And let's talk a little bit more about thriving at another level in the extended, which will be linked below and in the center of your screen now. Thank you so much for the likes, comments, and subscribes. It helps this channel very much. And I hope you all have a wonderful month. Talk to you soon. Let's do this extended. Bye.